we are the HR team with Suburban Inns. I'm Bree Wesley, the Director of HR.
My name is Rachel Figueredo. I'm the HR Generalist.
And I'm Jessica Babcock, Vice President of Human Resources. Today we will be talking about a few different things in the HR world, like developing skills for success,
Preparing for an interview,
and the importance of building connections.
Developing skills for success is really important when you're looking for a new job. Part of those skills includes transferable skills, including things like communication, all of the transferable skills that you have developed throughout your time in school, or if you had a job before, that you can take from one employer to another, are what would make you a more valuable employee. Communication is one of those tools that if you are a good communicator and you know the way you communicate, the style that you are, it helps you be more confident in the delivery of your message. It also can tell an employer that you know what you're talking about, that you are professional and are looking to grow your career. Another skill that you can put into your toolbox is problem solving. Employers look to employees to build their problem-solving skills, and it shows them that when you're in a position and you come along a stumbling block, that you're able to think on your feet quickly and come to a good decision. Even if it might not be the right decision, employers will always be available to coach you so that the next time you know exactly what to do in the future. Another area of transferable skills involves critical thinking. Similar to problem solving, critical thinking kind of makes you a little bit more valuable because you can see a problem and you're bringing forward a way to correct that problem. So if you're working at a hotel and you see a process that could be improved, by critical thinking, you are bringing the employer a new solution, and it shows that you're putting forth the effort in the position to make that job better. Another area of transferable skills is teamwork, which can be built anywhere if you play on a sport or in the classroom in group projects, or again at an employer if you have a job. Showing the employer that you are able to work on teams with all sorts of personality types is something that employers always look for. We love to find somebody that we can train for the job, where you can't always find the right personality. So if you can show that you're a good team player, we'll teach you everything else that you need to know. Another area is time management. How well do you do your job while you're on the job, basically? So even if you're in school and you're putting in the time and effort into classwork, just being able to get your assignments done on time. At work, if you have a checklist, making sure that you're completing those checklists each day in full will show the employer that you know how to manage your time and will also exude professionalism. Another really important transferable skill that employers are looking for is management and leadership abilities. You don't need to necessarily be in a supervisory or management role to be able to show these skills. If you're, again, in a group project at school and you are leading the discussions and making sure that the project it comes through to fruition, that right there is building your management and leadership skills. Again, similar to communication, once you learn your leadership style, you're able to kind of grow the way that you handle in a problem. And showing an employer that you have that skill set is definitely something that we're all looking for. Lastly, attention to detail is another skill that you can bring anywhere to any job. Just making sure that you're taking your time, doing things right, and if you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. Like I said before, we're always willing to train and teach as long as you're willing to learn and grow. Another way that you can develop your skills for success is through cross-training. Cross-training is basically taking skills that are beyond your job description. So if you look at your job description, there's a list of tasks on there that you have to do in your main job that you were hired for. but cross-training allows you to learn things outside of that particular job. When you do that, it shows the employer that you're adaptable. You are willing to learn and do whatever it takes to help the company succeed. Another important aspect of cross-training is adaptability. You're showing the employer that you're willing to do things that you might not be trained to do, and that shows them that you have the passion for the job. You're able to be thrown into a position and learn it on the wing, and they will make sure that you have the tools you need to move forward in that position successfully. You'll be a well-rounded employee, and you'll show them that you have great teamwork skills by being able to help out in other departments, as well as helping the employer out of a sticky situation. Cross-training is an invaluable asset to add to your toolkit. Relevant working experience is also an important asset to developing your skills. So when you're looking for a new job and you're about to apply, look at that job description and see if there's things on there that you have already in your toolbox. These are the transferable skills. So have you already done a job with similar tasks? They might not be exactly the same, but how can you tie those two things together? Think about things that you can implement immediately on the job. Again, it doesn't have to be the exact same task that you performed in the past, but if you're able to make an instant impact as soon as you're able to start in the position, that also shows an employer that you're ambitious and ready and willing to do whatever it takes. Also, you can look at similar tasks and projects that you've done. So again, in school, if you've had a project that's similar to one of the duties on the job description, make sure you mention that. A great way to do that is in a cover letter along with your resume. So in the cover letter, you can hit all of these topics and show the employer exactly what you're looking for in your job and exactly what you can offer them. They want somebody who is ambitious and will show them that you know what it takes to get the job done. The last skill that I'm going to talk about is being a lifelong learner. Everybody has an opportunity to push themselves each and every day by learning new things, taking on new tasks, and showing an employer that you're a good employee. Lifelong learning shows that you're passionate about your job or growing your employability. It grows your resume, and growing your resume makes you more attractive to an employer. By putting the investment into yourself, it shows the employer that you actually care and you want to grow and learn, and that is one thing that employers are always looking for. How much time can I put into this employee, and how much time are they going to give back to us? It shows your dedication. It shows that you're curious, that you really want to learn and you want to grow and you want to help the company. It helps you stay competitive in a really tight employment market. It makes you stand out in a crowd. So each and every day, if you have an opportunity to develop your skills, take it and learn from it. Practice, set yourself some goals. What are you looking to get out of this webinar or seminar or class or mentoring opportunity? Set those goals, practice, make sure you set aside time every day to enhance your skills, and learn that you can make mistakes and embrace those. It's only a mistake if you don't learn from it.
Now we're going to talk about how you can best prepare for your interview. One of the most important things is to make sure that your resume is up to date. And you might want to build your resume in a way that it highlights all your experience and skills that pertain to the role that you're applying for. As Jessica mentioned, you should definitely take a good look at your job description. For instance, if you're applying for a front desk position, you may want to highlight your skills on customer service. Similarly with multitasking or working under pressure or working under a team and so on. Now, to adapt your resume and to prepare better for the interview, you will have to do some research on the company. Their website will most likely give you most of the information you will need, such as how the company was founded, their mission and vision statements, perhaps their core values, or even things that they have been doing lately. You may also look into articles about the company, but be careful that they are from reliable sources. It's also recommended that you look into the people who will be interviewing you. Make sure that you know what's their role within the company, and their LinkedIn is a good resource to see what their involvement is, their past work experience, if they do work with other organizations or their community, and maybe even where they went to school. It might be a good talking point during your interview. While doing research about the company, try to also come up with questions for the employer. Remember that it's not only about figuring out if you are a good fit for the company, but also if the company is a good fit for you. So you may want to ask things such as, how is their work-life balance? How is the work environment? If you would get work independency, how does training look like? And you can then ask the interviewer how was their experience within the company. Anything that will help you figure it out if this is the right job for you. During the interview, the employer may ask you open-ended questions. These questions are typically used to know more about your character and work ethic. Make sure to answer these questions with the appropriate language, but also make sure that your personality shines. You don't want to make them sound stiff or rehearsed in any way. You want to truly show them your personality. Now, body language is just as important as your actual language. How you position yourself during the interview can make a huge difference. It's similar to when you are presenting to class. If you have your hands in your pockets, if you're not making eye contact with your audience, and your voice tone is kind of low, then it's most likely that your audience will get disengaged. It's the same for interviews. So make sure you're keeping good eye contact, make sure you're smiling, make sure you're engaged as opposed to being slouched. Make sure to also dress the part. Business casual is typically what's the standard for job interviews. So a nice dress shirt and dressing pants can do the job. Once the interview is over, make sure to thank the interviewer for their time and make sure to get their contact information. Even if the interview doesn't work or the opportunity falls through, you still made a connection and networked. I would also recommend to send a follow-up message to your prospective employer. It can be something as short as, it was nice meeting you, thank you for the opportunity to interview, and I hope to hear from you soon. Maybe if you did the interview in the morning, maybe you can send it in the afternoon. If it was in the afternoon, maybe you can send it on the next day. But that would be all, and best of luck on your interview.
Now we will be talking about the importance of building connections. When building your professional portfolio, a great addition are the connections you make along the way. Some of these connections can be built through networking, shadowing, mentorships, and referrals. So let's talk about networking. By getting involved in your community, getting involved in professional associations, attending seminars, webinars, roundtables, and career fairs, you are not only expanding your knowledge within the industry that you are wanting to grow in, but you are also potentially opening up doors that will provide you with some great career opportunities in the future. Another great way to gain more connections and knowledge in the fields that are of your interest are through shadowing opportunities. By connecting with someone in a position that is similar to the field that you are interested in, you are able to better understand how the job works in real-world situations, get questions answered that may have been lingering from your job research prior to, as well as make it more known that you are interested in growing your professional portfolio to those around you. Mentorships are another great avenue for building your connections. A mentor is someone who you can trust, can bounce ideas off of, and ask for advice. They are the ones that will guide you along the way when you are growing your professional portfolio. You can find a mentor through a program within your company that you work for, whether that's formal or informal, or it could be someone that you've gained connections through when networking, attending seminars, or maybe just through friends and family connections. And lastly, referrals are another great way to build the connections around you. Especially in the HR world, we heavily rely on those word of mouth recommendations when filling a job. So continue to make those great connections with your friends, family, acquaintances, and the networking events that you attend. And make sure to remain on good standing terms if you ever leave your employer, so that those bridges are always there, because believe it or not, the hospitality realm is smaller than we think. So continue to put yourself outside your comfort zone, say hello to those strangers around you, and continue to gain your knowledge.